Today we are going to talk about my experience being a financial consultant, or more well known as agent. Welcome back again to my channel with me, Daddy. I recently renamed my channel from SFDT, which stands for Smart Finance with DT, with DT being the first letters from my first name and my surname, to that Money Compass, or DMC for short form. That also means that this is the first video after renaming my channel to DMC. This channel was first created when I was still a financial consultant, with the aim to share my experiences, answering most asked questions, and also ranting. If you have followed me from the very beginning, you may have noticed initially I said something along the line of consulting me if you want further consultation. But of course, I don't do that now. So this channel is merely for myself to rant about the finance world, or to be more frank, for me to rant about the money world. I've a lot of things to rant about. I just have so much frustration to express. However, let's start it off with the title financial consultant. Being a financial consultant is no easy feat. As much as I passed all my examinations in one go within a short period of time, there are just a lot of papers to take. To start off, you need a minimum of 3 to 4 or maybe 3 or 4 certifications before you can start consulting and selling stuff. And this is only limited to insurance products. And if I'm not mistaken, it is also not all insurance products. You need a minimum of 4 to be able to sell insurance products, and another 2 more to start selling ILPs, or more widely known as investment linked products. Those are the minimum 6 as per during my time. Then when you come in, you are encouraged to take more certifications, and this can span all the way until when you are senior consultant or manager or even director. This is usually the company's way of keeping you updated and upskilling you, at least at the company that I work for. As the personal finance world is very, but I'm not sure if this applies to independent financial advisors like IFAs. This part I'm not sure, but I believe they still have to take the examinations, as this is the minimum requirement from the government to become an agent. So naturally, I took more exams after I became a financial consultant, although it was mostly about investment. This is because when we talk about finance, investment is just a topic that naturally comes in. And especially in Singapore, people seem to just know more about finance these days, thanks to the easily available information out there on the internet. I myself started my finance journey personally since I was pretty young, since I was also a customer or prospect like you before becoming an agent. I've always liked money as well as IT. I worked in IT field before I switched career to become an agent, although eventually I stopped and switched back. Just like how I like money, I've always been interested in investment, as well as the topic of personal finance in general. And to be frank, I personally think that insurance topic is just very limited, in a sense that it is always just like that. They are created by companies, the rules are set by companies, the policies revolve around certain things, and the T&Cs are just super long. So yeah, pretty much if I have to say, there's just not much excitement as compared to insurance, right? As compared to investment. So yeah, I gravitated towards investment more. Fortunately for me, I joined an agency that has finance as their specialty, especially in investment. My ex-boss was a real deal. My seniors, well, not all of them, but a few of them are good in investment, and they somehow also have different markets interest as well as different investment. So One point to take note here is that if you are looking for an agent, make sure you know what you are looking for first, and then you can filter agents based on the suitability. Because to tell you upfront, every agent is just different. You can find somehow who is super good at insurance policies but know close to nothing about investment, which means they most likely will just follow the advice of the pips in the agency. Or you can find even someone who is just super good at general insurance, or maybe you'll find someone who's good at both, which I personally have met different kind of agents before. So it really depends on what your preference is. So each agency could also have different focuses. All right, so it's not just the individual, him or herself. Back to my choice of becoming a financial consultant. My journey was definitely not smooth, and it was just very different from being a developer. I was definitely not the most people person when I first joined, but at the end of the journey, I learned, and quoting my wife, I changed. No matter what people say, at the end of the day, all agents need to eat. So it all boils down to sales, and sales were not my strong point. So it was a steep learning curve for me, but that doesn't mean it was impossible. Just that for my case, I had to leave. I just had to leave. So throughout my journey, there are a few points that definitely left the impression to me, and that's why I wanted to create this video to also document my journey as well. The first thing is that everybody calls me an insurance agent when based on my own definition. Insurance agent is just an agent that simply sells insurance, and that's it. Or I will also include those who don't know anything else about finance. Really, I mean, I had so much to share about finance, but the first impression was an insurance agent without having taught to me yet. But I can't blame them, at least on hindsight, as I also thought the same way when I was still a customer. Fun fact, I actually disliked agents so badly before becoming one, like 1,000 out of 100. That was my level of dislike. And for the recruiter who tried to recruit me, he himself was actually an agent, and I said this upfront to him that I actually dislike agent, and how are they going to change this perspective of mine, but they still accept me with open heart. And yeah, true enough, I have to say my view towards agents, I have to say, changed, but not dramatically changed, because it was just that because I was inside the industry itself, I got to know, I would say, the truth on why it is so negative. So yeah, but so after becoming one, I dislike people that call me insurance agent. I mean, I try to be different, but yeah, it was just so hard. When people say the vibe around this industry is so negative, it's no joke. Which leads to my second point, which is discovering who your real friends are. Now, I know this is subjective, and there are just too many agents that really paint a bad name for this industry, that I shouldn't blame my friends, or should I say my former friends. But you can really filter who your real friends are. All the while, I had never made enemies, but I also don't have many close friends. So I'm pretty much a neutral person, if you have to call it that way. So in the beginning, I had to compile a list of friends to talk to, which I believe any agencies in any companies would advise to do so as a starting point, because supposedly that's the easier entry point to ease you in, as when you first started, you definitely don't know what to do. Fortunately, my top two friends that listed are still my friends now. Otherwise, it would be so awkward to find out that it has all been one-sided. The rest, I can simply say that a count is just a count. And those friends that still talk to me when I became an agent, yeah, they stay. So you will be shocked to find out that some that you thought were close may not be close after all. I had a couple that I thought so, but not from my top two, that rejected me before even meeting me face to face or hear what I had to say. I had one that told me not to text, call, or meet when we were very close when I was in junior college. I had another one also that we used to hang out together, but turned also negative the moment she knew about my career switch. This is endless. I mean, everybody as you grow up, your friends count would increase, but yeah, only these few that really I have to say surprised me, because at some point I regarded them as pretty close to me, but not super close like my top two friends. But yeah, I learned an important lesson about making friends at least. Now the third one is people are genuinely looking for advices. Be it finance in general, personal finance which needed my help to look into their finances, and also advices about life in general. I had met thousands of people throughout my time there, and oh boy, some stories are just worth sharing, although a lot of people somehow are sus about it. It can be about the success stories of early retirees to someone's tragic incident. So agents do have a lot of stories to share, especially those experienced ones. But if I'm not mistaken, people do get fed up whenever they share stories without answering your question. My wife experienced it, and she actually had to come back and ask me. So some of these stories are definitely valuable, and for me personally, those advices given by early retirees are very important to me, as I personally try to retire early as well. But the one thing that I was often frustrated about is that after going through the time and effort to ask them for advices that can be given to the people today at this age and time, customers often doubt it. But when influencers talk about the same thing, or when forums talk about it, customers listen. Like, why? I was so angry at some point too, just because of this. Because it's like you are giving something that you know is legit, is real, but people just doubt you just because you have this title of being an insurance agent. But when people from sorry to say, but influencers from TikTok who may or may not qualify for it say something very similar or the same thing, people just listen to them. Like, there was one of my most frustrating thing I've had encountered during my time there being an agent. Like, there's no joke, man. I always ask these early retirees like what advice they would like to give to people in these days, like in 2024, what's applicable. But yeah, people just don't believe it. I don't know why. I basically have nothing to say. So yeah, the last point is all the frustrations. These frustrations are just very hard to forget, because they all usually bear some sort of lesson behind. It could be myself trying to push a product too hard and people reacted or responded in certain way and it frustrated me, or which happened most of the time is that when I was giving advice and people just don't want to listen, and after that things happened according to what I said because they just didn't do it right. So it's really frustrating. So yes, the frustrations where people judge so fast, not listening to you but prefer to listen to the mess when we pretty much say the same thing. How people act like a smartass. Oh yeah, I definitely have one story that I remember coming from an uncle about this. Yeah, a lot. Probably may need another video just to talk about all my frustrations as this video is getting long. Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy and my approach was more of wanting to help people. It was also harder to get customers as I may not have pushed hard enough. After all, only sales can make you money. So if you keep on giving advices, you just can't live, you can't eat. As I also have to eat to live, so I decided to move on. And hence I went back to IT. One thing I remember the most from my IO was that I am not doing charity. I still need to do sales. Looking back, there are definitely tons of things that I learned, but to pick up my top two, here they are. Number one, my investment knowledge definitely had deepened. And I also managed to test few theories of myself, in which I believe one of them I am applying right now to my own portfolio, and the second one is my humane side. One thing in particular is definitely being more empathetic towards people, that's for sure. Okay, that's it for now. This video is getting really long. Thanks for watching, especially for you who stay all the way. I may share more in the coming videos. Leave a like if you like this video, and if you'd like to know more, do comment down below. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one. May the money be with you. Peace.